We are back with another episode of Four Quarter Talk Podcast. I'm Josh Masoki, joined by,
Matas Baranauskas.
and this is Four Quarter Talk. We're still trying our hardest to make this at least a weekly podcast. Loads of factors getting in the way. I was ill. We were supposed to shoot yesterday. Matters, you're gonna have like family come around. It's gonna be hard later in the week. But we're gonna try and make our way through, man. It's playoff time. Yeah, man. This is a passion. This is a passion project. So we got to keep it going, man. We got to keep it going. No one's healthy at this point of the season. Neither are we. But we're gonna keep fighting through, man. We can keep fighting through. But before we get into this playoff series, which is get into round two, we're gonna start with some regular season talk. Wemby has been announced as Rookie of the Year. I believe it was unanimous.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue. Maybe about 6 months ago, I'd be arguing, but yeah, I mean, come on, like, it's not like maybe in a few months' time we'll be looking at it like start to finish and say that Chet had the better overall season, I guess, just because of where they are. But like, come on, it's not really a debate. He had a record-setting season. I believe some of his stats, I don't know, it might have been like ESPN type stats, but he had stats that would rival any player in NBA history, not just rookies. It's definitely one of the all-timers. They weren't a good team, but that's never really been the standard for rookies anyway. So that shouldn't really matter in this case. Maybe if Chet was the first option or if he had more better stats, then there'd be more of a debate. But just even with whether it's the stats, whether it's the eye test, you look and that is the best rookie this season. So yeah, not really an argument or a complaint from me.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't think it's pretty sure it was obvious. Like, as you say, you can argue 6 months ago, but I think like it's still maybe not unanimous, but then still Wemby win the
Yeah,
overall. But like,
but it's one of those things where it's like with this unanimous discussion that comes about every year, or when there's like a race and it's fairly close or whatever, uh, when there's a discussion and then but the winner gets like 90% of the first place votes or 100% of the first place votes, it's like, yeah, there were people that were in the discussion clearly, but if I'm a voter, I'm not voting someone one just so it's close. Like, no, he's number one, he's number two, and it's been that way the whole season. So it's not really as yeah, that's just how it is. Um, yeah, bro, Wemby was just ridiculous as a rookie, especially when he started to get more minutes played. And yeah, when he's completely off his minutes restriction, it's gonna get scary for sure.
oh yeah, yeah. Next season should be interesting in the West.
Yeah, and that's why, as young as we are, man, I want to snatch up the a chip, steal a chip before he's really like that. Before he's really because yeah, with what they can do in free agency as well, with attracting, yeah, it's gonna get nuts, bro. It's gonna get nuts. So, uh, yeah, and now he's got that Nike PR on his side as well. He's gonna be in some serious conversations early. So, yeah, bro. But yeah, that congrats, man. He came in as that highly touted, highly hyped, and in some ways he actually exceeded my expectations of what he could do day one.
Yeah,
Uh, and it seemed like, as we said, it was more of an argument at the start of the season. But you can look at specific parts of the season and see that how he had massive improvements over the course of the year. So yeah, he's clearly a hooper. He's clearly a student of the game, and he's continued to learn. And I mean, yeah, he's just got a ridiculous build, and it just doesn't make sense like what he can do at his size. So, uh, good luck to the league, man. Good luck to the league. Yeah, but
it's yeah. As you said, like he's built alone is insane,
it's crazy.
and then with his skill set as well is like yeah. As you
Yeah.
say, good luck.
He's not the first 7'4" player in the league, but look at all the others. They do not move like him. You'll be hard. There's not many above like 6'11" that move like him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's crazy. I've not met personally anyone above like 6'6" that moves like him. Like in my play, like playing around with people, like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Uh, but currently the league doesn't have to worry about that, and we will be getting back into the playoffs. We'll start with the second round series that have actually kicked off already. We'll start with Knicks-Pacers, which they've just had their game one last night, and it's gonna be a series. It's gonna be a series. It's gonna be a series. Knicks-Pacers is another one of those. It feels like now that the Knicks are back to relevance, they're having a lot of these like iconic series that old past Knicks teams used to have, and we'll kind of see it continue now. But what are your thoughts on game one of Knicks-Pacers?
Well, I won't go lie, just fell asleep mid game because it's the late games as always for us here in the UK. But yeah, it's as I said, it's gonna be very interesting series. All I just when I woke up, all I saw is that there was some controversial calls during the game, especially during down the stretch, where like the fouls, illegal screens being called. So I don't know, but yeah, and what I can say, like Jalen Brunson is still cooking. He was cooking against the Sixers, and he's still out there. 43 points, 14 from 26. Like, yeah, he's just keep going. And Josh Hart again had himself a game,
Near,
30,
near,
24 points,
near
13
to,
rebounds, 8 assists, nearly triple double for Josh Hart. Like, what? Like, he's literally Tibbs' team, and like, they all working hard. And like, yeah, Jalen Brunson is, since those two games in this first round, like game one, game two, he's been amazing player.
yeah. And those pretty much just to add on to what you said, those are kind of my takeaways too. So firstly, yeah, Tibbs. This is very much a Tibbs team. You look at that box score and you look at those minutes played, three players off the bench, 27 minutes combined between the three off the bench. You look at Josh Hart, 48 minutes. Pretty much that whole starting lineup, 40, 48, 44, like high 40s, mid to high 40s. And yeah, that's how Tibbs is gonna ride and die. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Josh Hart has ridiculous stamina. I don't understand how he does everything he does at his size, getting the boards, being tough on defense, and still being ready to score as well, playing that heavy minutes. Like this is like Tibbs' perfect lineup and play style, and they're bringing that through. Um, and yeah,
But I
Brunson.
just wait. What I just noticed, Knicks won the game with bench scoring 3 points.
Oh, literally, that's what I was gonna say. Like, but they had the bench barely played. The bench literally barely played.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But like, still, it's
barely
insane.
played. But yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, and that's not even that much of an abnormality for a Tibbs-led team, but it's just crazy. Like, because he already plays with a pretty slim lineup in the regular season. So when he gets to the playoffs, like you might get to the if they made the finals, you might literally get zero play bench minutes. Like it's crazy.
Yep.
Then yeah, to add to with Brunson, yeah, he's just been cooking, man. He's at this point, yeah, he's a playoff player. The production that he's putting up, um, he's yeah, he's just straight up cooking. He's built for it. He's quieting all those questions that were made about could you play through him. Obviously, it's still yet to be seen if he can win a championship, but he's clearly got all the tools as a go-to player in the playoffs. And there's not many at his size that can take on that type of responsibility in the playoffs and be consistent because obviously as you get to the playoffs, it gets much more physical and size advantage plays much more of a role. But as to this point, there hasn't really been much of an issue for him. And I think I just saw the stat, but I think he's one of few players that I've ever opened the playoffs with 25 shots a game, like every game, or at least as many games as he's played. So um, he's aggressive and he's found his own and he's doing it for a market and for a franchise and for a fan base that are just going to continue to boost like what he can do. I think the Pacers, who was it? Someone on the Pacers said something about how it might have been Halliburton that said that they're happy about where they are because they were able to be in that close. Oh no, it was McConnell. He said, yeah, he's happy about where they're at playing at that building and it being that close and the ball just didn't roll their way. And I mean, yeah, maybe you could say that, but as we know in the playoffs, there's no moral victories because you're down 0-1, and that is just what it is. Whether you lose by 40 or you lose by 4, you lost a game, and it adds up all the same. But I think from what I've seen, this can definitely be another long series for sure. And but the one thing is though that we alluded to before we started is that Halliburton needs to step up. He needs to step up because he has not been the same player since about before the All-Star break or around the time that he got injured. He's been a completely different player.
Yeah, he took only 6 shots last game. Like you yeah, he only made two of them, but like still as a star of the team or like co-star with Siakam, like you definitely need to take more shots than that. TJ
And
McConnell had 16 shots.
you can't go down like that, man. You
Like
cannot.
yeah, TJ McConnell had a very good game, but like still you can't take less shots than your backup.
Yeah, look, it's the playoffs, man. It's the playoffs. You gotta go down. You gotta go down swinging, man. You can't. No one cares about what your efficiency was or whatever. You gotta go down. You gotta go out swinging. You have to. You gotta leave it all out there, and he cannot be deferring that much. I don't care if he's a pass first player or whatever that means. He has to go out swinging, and he has to bring more production than that. He can't be out here putting triple singles when it's his franchise. So
Yeah, and the thing is, we seen even like after injury that he still like can have those games, but like when you shoot 6 times, like you won't be even close like performances like you need to
look,
have. So
if he was 6 for 20, I wouldn't be it's not as deep as if he's just gonna be 2 for 4 or whatever he was. Like you can't do that. Absolutely not. Not against this type of team. The Knicks, who are gonna be physical, who are gonna dominate boards and do what they need to do on that side of things. You've got to. This team will be at its best if Halliburton is one of the leaders in shot attempts. That's just what it is. The Knicks, I'm sure, will be happy if they can say that no, Halliburton is going to take less than 5 shots every game. They'll be like, cool. That's a formula that we're happy with. That's a formula that we're okay with. So yeah, they definitely have to find a way to get him more shots. But him as being a point guard himself, he's got to find shots for himself. And yeah, there's just no excuse and no other way about it. All right. And we'll swiftly move on to the next team that the next series that has already started. The Wolves versus the Nuggets, which taken on a bit of a different complexion than we expected for sure. We thought that I mean we got a bit of a prelude last playoffs with them matching up against each other. Obviously, both franchises were, well, not both, but the Wolves are in a different place, having lost Jaden McDaniels going into the season and having going to playoffs and all the weird stuff that happened on that last regular season game. But having now had a full uh, regular season where they were clicking on all cylinders, we thought, okay, this is going to be a much better matchup. And I said that Rudy Gobert was going to be probably the biggest factor, and they've just won a game without him. So just a very very weird first 2 games. But what are your thoughts so far? And I'll add mine after.
first one before I go into the game, Rudy missed the game because of
Yeah.
his first child. And Gilbert Arenas is was like, oh yeah, like, it doesn't matter, like child will be there when you come out. Like as Šarūnas Jasikevičius, the current coach of Fenerbahce, like a few years ago in Lithuania, one of his players during as well, like in the league, like semi-final, went to the home country to Brazil to see the birth of his first child. He was like, yeah, I let him go because it is like uh the when you see your first child is like literally emotions. Like basketball doesn't matter. Basketball is not most important
This
thing
is
in
the
life.
game. This is the
Like,
game.
and then he was like to report, like, oh, do you have kids? Like, no. So he told him, like, when you have kids, come back and tell me what's like. So yeah, Gilbert Arenas is yeah. I almost said he has 4 kids and he's speaking like that. So like,
It's such a non-story, bro, because it's a dumb thing to say anyway. But like maybe it would mean more coming from like I don't know Shaq or something like someone that had like won loads of chips and was like, nah, you gotta you gotta put that first. But Gil has not done. He hasn't won anything in the league, so. And he just it's got to the point where I don't even find this stuff funny anymore. It's just L take after L take.
It was
I've already
never funny to me.
I've already muted him on Twitter on X. I've got no I'll happily not hear any more of his takes because it's just dumb. Like I see all the comments about Rudy missing it, and I'm not cool because most of them are probably 12 years old, so they've got no actual perspective in life. But it's just such a non-story, and any reporter that feels the need to ask him about that is stupid anyway. Like, what are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about? But yeah, back to the actual basketball.
Back to the basketball, Timberwolves showed why they were number one defense in the league this season. Their defense is incredible. Like especially like again, yeah, as you said, Nuggets talked about like, oh yeah, Timberwolves were the hardest matchup for us last season. So it's like now you can see why because yeah, I'm sorry, but scoring 40 points only the third quarter is actually insane. How you're
Great.
defending champions and you're scoring at home and scoring your 40th point like at 8 minute mark in the third quarter. How is that possible? So yeah, like
2024 getting
huge, huge, huge.
held to 80 in 2024 as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Crazy.
So it's like huge, like uh props to the Moves defense and all the Naz Reid as well. Like his defense on Jokic alone. Like you don't have Rudy Gobert, but you have six man of the year to step up and like he for game one, he literally carried them to victory in the fourth quarter, like hitting all the threes and all the shots. And now like this game defensively, he was just insane. And I'm pretty sure Finch said after the game that Jalen McDaniels he scored what 5 points this game. Maybe I don't think he scored at all in last game, and he's plus 15 in 2 games. Like it's insane. Like yeah, there's all defensive team like it's yeah Timberwolves are, and then but Nuggets yeah as I said the Timberwolves defense but like Nuggets water shooting 4 for 12. Aaron Gordon was probably their best player and his all points came in the first quarter. That says it all. Like Jokic 5 for 13, he definitely needs to shoot more than 13 shots. And Jamal Murray 3 from 18 with all the stuff that happened with him as well. So it's like yeah they have. Is the series over already?
Listen, I don't want to be a broken record. I feel like I'm gonna say this every time we talk about the Timberwolves or Thunder, but everyone was just quick to dismiss what they put on show over the course of an 82 game series. And look at the teams that everyone was saying would take them out easily. They are sitting at home. Some have been sitting at home for a week. Some have been sitting at home for a month. Believe what you're shown over the course of 82 games. And I am not surprised that they've gotten to this point. I'm a bit surprised that they've, now taken down the Nuggets at home, uh, you know,
Twice.
dominated them and stolen home court advantage in a different way. Like having putting the defending champs in this type of situation and also missing one of your best players as well is crazy. So, but I will be slow to say it's over when it's the defensive champs on the other side. Uh, but they are definitely like on the brink. It's not looking good at all. Uh, albeit in the bubble, they have had some historical comebacks. It's not quite the same. It's not 2K sounds and the AAU court or anything like that. But you know, I have to give the defending champs their respect. But just I am absolutely amazed. Anthony Edwards is rightfully, he's taking all the headlines with his performances, especially in the first game. All the cringe MJ comparisons, I'll leave those alone. But I'd say, yeah, as you alluded to, Naz Reid is probably the MVP of this two game stand. He showed it on offense in the first game. What was it, 14 points in the fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the second game, just it's got to be demoralizing for the Nuggets to see like the way that closing that half, the way that he was defending Jokic, and just you can see that team runs through Jokic. He might be not be the most outwardly emotional person, but you can tell that they feel a sense of calmness knowing that Jokic is going to be that same player every game. So when they're seeing him struggling like that, you're seeing Jamal Murray, who normally we just seen him absolutely destroy the Lakers for a couple of weeks, and now, but speaking, I hate to bring up the Lakers, man, and those super fans, but it seems like they're more excited about this. I see more Lakers fans talking about this than Wolves fans. All the Wolves fans are talking about Tatum and Shea, and all the Lakers fans are talking about the Wolves. Like, what's going on? But but yeah, it's crazy. They're just giving them problems. They're just giving them absolute problems. I don't think they were expecting to be met with these type of issues. As much as they said that they were the best matchup for them last year, uh, I'm sure how dominant they were last year. They were still expecting to have at least a sense of control going into this. But wow, like they have really flipped the series on its head, and yeah, I really don't know. Like they're gonna have to have their championship pedigree is really gonna get tested in these next two games in Minnesota.
Yep. But you never know. It's basketball. Like they have best player in the world in Jokic. And, like you never know what can happen. But I think Jamal Murray needs to be like he needs to come down first of all. Guess what he's been doing. Like yeah. So,
Brother,
but yeah, anything
impacts.
anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a championship team. But we haven't in their run last year, they never faced this type of adversity. So it'll be very interesting to see how they respond and how they come back. Because yeah, this is a rough hole to find yourself in. Because as we said, physically, this is supposed to be the best home court advantage in the league. So um yeah, no, I'm especially the way that they won last game, how dominantly they won last game. I'm very surprised, I'll be honest. I thought the Timberwolves had the ability to steal a game for sure, but the way that they've absolutely outmatched and
They've done
outclassed,
more than that. They've done more than that.
they've taken a series. They've stolen the series so far. So wow, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out, and there's gonna be a lot of narratives if it continues to go this way. There's gonna be a lot to be said, but
Well,
that's
Nick Wright already tweeted about Jokic that oh yeah, probably three-time MVP like might be unanimous like conversation. Yeah, I'm
the
not
time
getting
is gonna be
already. He already spoke, started tweeting about Jokic.
at the timing because what? Yeah, they've announced the rookie of the year. When would the MVP would it be coming during this series or the conference finals? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure it's might be this series. Wait,
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, people already talking about it. So
right.
already have a conversation.
Mm.
Uh, wait, wait, give me a second. Uh, MVP is tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and today is Defensive Player of the Year.
right. Okay. Anyway. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna get well, yeah, this is gonna get ugly. This is gonna get real ugly real fast. But yeah, a lot of people will be proved a lot obviously Jokic has a chance to show what he's made of, and I mean Ant's PR is off the roof right now, absolutely right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But nah, this is that time of year, man, when narratives are created. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Now let's get into Celtics versus the Cavs. I'll be honest, bro. This feels like another filler series for the for the Celtics. I mean, the first one wasn't because you had that Heat storyline, but
Yeah.
there's not that much excitement going into this series. But what are your keys for the series?
Well, as you said, I don't think that's very special. I feel like a lot of people predicting Celtics in five because, especially Boston fans saying, "Oh yeah, Donovan Mitchell will have like one game when he just unstoppable, like he will win a game for the Cleveland." So like, yeah, I don't know. What we need to do is just probably try to keep everyone else like Donovan Mitchell can score 50 every game, but we're not getting 50 from others because to be fair, there's not much scoring for other than Donovan Mitchell on that team. You Garland is inconsistent, Lever is inconsistent. We're playing Strus, which I don't like because he's been on that Heat team, and last year he posted on Instagram, oh, the tweet where Boston Celtics like they got Strus and he's like agenda. So I feel like he'll pop up. And one thing,
He's another Celtics killer for sure.
yeah. And I think the fact that Jared Allen is not fully healthy, and I don't know if he'll be in the series. So, but unlike Magic, we shoot threes more, where Magic more likely to go down the rim with Mobley and Allen. So it's like completely different player of basketball, and like they they struggle to score 100 points as well, which is big
Mm.
against like Magic good defense, but they struggle to score against them, and now they're going against us. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So I don't think. Yeah, I'll probably say like probably Celtics in five. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Jalen Brown already like said, oh yeah, I remember that 2018 loss in Game 7 against them. Like so,
yeah. I mean, it's a completely different team. I doubt he's gonna try to pretend that he cares, but I don't think he's gonna be that deep into it. It's such a different team now.
yeah, I feel like just because it's first Celtics-Cavs series since then, so it's like he had to say
I
something.
mean, it's kind of like the when Tristan Thompson says that he still runs through us. Like, all right,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, but I did see he said about because obviously he's friends with Donovan Mitchell and
Oh
saying
yeah,
that
there's no friends in the playoffs.
yes. Uh, to me, the length of this series is solely predicated on how unserious the Celtics want to be. That's basically it, man. Like, do they wanna just win the series? And yeah, okay, 4 or 5 games. Do they want to be unserious because there's some injuries on their side? So let's mess around for a bit. And yeah, it'll go a bit. Maybe they want to extend the series just to give Porzingis a little bit more time to come back. Just do it for that. But yeah, I'd be very shocked if this series gets interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see that happening.
No, not at
I feel
all.
like I feel like Tatum will definitely have better series than he had against Heat because Heat a lot of people saying like they comparing his and Banchero stats in the playoffs in the first round, but like I don't think they watched single game of that the Celtics Heat series because you literally every time Tatum got the ball, there's double team and there's like third person already watching Tatum as well. So it's like he did what he needed. Like he just literally facilitated the ball, and Derek White was the guy in the series. So it's like he Tatum didn't need to go for 40, 50 points. So like, what's the point? Like,
Honestly, it's a sign of maturity and a sign of trust that he has for his team that he's willing to defer. He doesn't have to be the guy in those earlier rounds because that's what you're gonna need. Uh, I mean, we were talking about the Heat, and that is the thing that they've had going for them is the fact that early in the season, Jimmy Butler tends to defer to these players, and you're thinking, why are you doing that? It's like, come on, man, like you're better than this. But then those are the same players that go off for them in those fake runs because they're confident and they know that they're involved. So, uh, yeah, that's definitely something the Celtics can benefit from. And it's just funny as well. Any young player that does anything, like, oh, he's better than Tatum already. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like the fact that every time they comparing to Tatum
Tatum,
says
like,
something.
Tatum's gonna
It
be
says
pretty
something.
decent. He's gonna be a decent player if every comparison is to him.
It's
Like it's
literally Tatum. Like these days, like every comparison is Tatum. So it's like, bruh.
But yeah, if the series gets interesting, if something happens, if they steal both home court games or something, then okay, then we'll have something to talk about. But as for now, I just don't foresee it being much of a series, to be honest, outside of maybe just a couple of players getting their rhythm back.
I feel like it might happen what happened against the Heat because in during the regular season we were up 22 in the fourth, but Dean Wade literally hit like seven
Yeah,
people in the eye. So it's like
I
you
remember
never
that.
know. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, let's move on to a series that I think will be much more interesting is the Thunder-Mavs on the Mavs. This is one of them series that I've been waiting on just because of just the discourse throughout the season. That's one of those teams that because of the MVP race in particular that uh, I've been pretty rent free in terms of talking about Shea all year. Luca fans, you probably know too well about the type of discourse that goes on with that. So I think a lot of animosity that will go into this series, particularly on Twitter, on X. Uh, but just with the basketball, man, I think it's just like the Clippers series. I think it's just gonna be high excitement, great matchups. See, you got the two MVP candidates and in Shea and Luca going at each other. I think uh, a lot of new fans will get to see just how good J Dub is in the way that he goes at. I mean, they're not going to guard each other, but him and Dub, yeah, Kyrie and Dub going at each other as well. I think Chet is going to play a big role in this series in terms of his rim protection. He was insane last series, and for me, Dort is one of the biggest factors of this series. His ability to, I mean, Luca has had loads to say about Dort's defense over the years. He has a lot of respect for Dort and how he's defended him. Um, fans will bring up the box scores and look, Luca is a walking 30, 10, and 10, regardless. But is he gonna be a well, you got the Hawks he plays against and he scored 70. But other than that, like, is he getting his 30, 10, and 10 on, 15, 20 shots, or is he getting on 40 shots? That's the difference here. And if they can disrupt the rhythm that the Mavs have clearly developed over this last series, you can see that Luca is a lot more willing to play off ball. He's a lot more, you've got Kyrie hitting on all cylinders. You've got other players that have been able to contribute because they've been playing a lot faster. Or are you going to have Dort now disrupting Luke to the point where he starts pressing, dominating the ball more, and then now you start to see them come out of this rhythm that they've built up over this regular season and first round of the playoffs. So this will be the first series that the Thunder are tested. It was good to get a dub in that first round, but it was against depleted New Orleans team that even if they had Zion, most people would probably predict they win in five. So it wasn't exactly a challenge. It was good to get over that hump, but now these are the real, championship rounds. These are the real rounds where we're gonna see what each of these young, very young Thunder players are made of.
yeah, it's gonna be a very exciting series just because of Shea against Luca, those two guys, and because we all know what like how good Luca can be in the playoffs. Like we all seen that, but like now Shea's like proper like second round as the guy as well. It's gonna be very interesting. I think there's especially on Twitter, there's gonna be a lot of hate for both because everyone will say, oh yeah, they just now baiting and like getting to the free throw line 10 times a game. So it's like, yeah, that's boring. But like that's Twitter for you. Every single game, people will find things to stress about and laugh about.
I hate basketball. I hate it. Yeah, everything. Just can't enjoy
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
but as you
Just
said, like about yeah, but you said about Chell, like it's completely different matchups. When he had Valanciunas against him, now it's like Lively and Washington, so it's like completely different players, and like yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be easier matchup for Chet than it was like JV because JV's yeah, he's maybe doesn't have that skill set, but like he's built completely different to other like Mavs, the big man. So like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Chet plays against them too, because I feel like Chet will definitely. You said the door will be your X factor. I feel like Chet will be in. He has to be very good in the series because of the Mavs defense. Like Mavs still they play solid defense, and
Yeah,
especially in the series against Clippers, we could see that Luca is actually even Luca and Curry they play for their standards like very good defense.
it's solid defense. They do. Yeah.
So it's going to be as I said, exciting series, probably 7 game series. So anything can happen there. So
Yeah, I think speaking of defense, I think that's going to be the main thing that, in the same way that people are now reacting to the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, the Thunder held their own in that regard too. They were, I think, what, top five for most of the year, crept in top three sometimes as well. I can't remember exactly where they finished, but a big, huge part of the Thunder, probably the biggest part of the Thunder rebuild, was developing a versatile defensive team. Even during the year or year and a half that the Thunder were staying in competitive games that they shouldn't have, was because of their defense. Because they were rolling in G League players, Shea out for periods of the year, but Thunder was still a middle of the pack defensive team, even at their worst, and it's completely unprecedented. You look, obviously, where they're at now. They're the youngest team that I've ever won a playoff series, let alone sweep. First seed as well. That's because of defense. Because most young teams don't have the discipline to play the level of defense that they played for full regular season and now first round. So that has been the main factor. Outside of obviously Shea's MVP level offensive production, J Dub stepping up on that end, but their defense is what separated them from all of the other young upcoming squads in the past. And I think that's what's gonna be the thing that, as we've mentioned with several teams, is the thing that translates no matter where you are in the playoffs, what round you're in, whether you're at home or you're on the road. Defense isn't going to let you down. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that, unstoppable, that immovable object meets that unstoppable force in terms of the level of offensive production that the Mavs have found themselves in, with the rhythm that they've got with Kyrie absolutely torching the Clippers last round. Can they continue to show that they can guard Kyrie? Because Kyrie and Luka, that is a very, very, very difficult matchup. So let's see if that can translate. And then if Shea can put them over the top with better production than I'd say than the first round, because he, at his standards, he wasn't really putting up that superstar level production. So can he rise to the moment? Can Chet, as you said, rise to the moment? And can J-Dub have a breakout series himself? Then yeah, we're looking at a crazy 7 game series, and I can't wait, man.
who do you think gonna guard Luca and Kyrie in the series?
I think Dort is gonna take that Luca assignment for majority of the time. I think it's gonna be a team effort for sure. I'm not, as much as obviously Dorchester Chamber and all of that. Of course, he's gonna be his primary defender, but at the same time, I'm not gonna act like he's gonna be on an island. Of course, I think Mark Dagnall is put together an amazing scheme, to where I think they've had different types of zones, switching zones. They're gonna throw a lot of different types of matchups, but I think yeah, Dort is gonna be the primary defender for Luca. But Kyrie, I think we might see more of I don't know. Yeah, see that makes it tough. That makes it tough for sure. I think yeah, it's gonna be a bit of committee with Kyrie. Dort might see some. Dort is gonna have Dort is gonna have a very, very tough series. Like, I'll be honest. He's really gonna earn it. But wait, it's slipping my mind. 1 second. Um yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot more of Case and Wallace this series in terms of taking on that matchup too. And they're just gonna throw a lot of bodies at the both of them. Um but yeah, they just have a big switching defense. That's why I'm saying that Chet will play quite a role, because his deterrence, he can switch out sometimes, but then his deterrence at the rim will kind of take away from the inside at least. And then yeah, their switching and their length on the outside makes everyone pretty versatile. So I think it's gonna be a team effort, but with Luka, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of door. We're gonna really see that torture chamber be put to the test for sure.
Yeah, should be an exciting series.
Yeah, man. Nah, I can't wait, man. This is, to be honest, I feel as a fan, I feel like playing with house money, man. Like getting to this point, because I was just deep in it. Like, yeah, man, we have a solid chance of winning this series, and if we win it, we're in the conference finals as a team is like way ahead of schedule. You know what I mean? So, but just it's just enjoyable to be watching basketball that matters again at this point, and we've got what the lottery coming up soon, and not even knowing when that is. It's been a couple seasons since I've not even thought about that, even though we're probably getting another lottery pick. So
Yeah, that's the thing. You probably getting lottery picks. That was like insane.
yeah, but yeah, just sticking to the playoffs, man. This is gonna be one of them. It's gonna be one of the matchups that we look back at maybe at the end of Luca and Shea's career. Just be like, okay, this is one of them in that score, because I think
It's gonna
Luca.
be is I think it's gonna be like, oh, they fighting who's gonna go against Wemby in the conference finals.
Yeah, pretty much. But in terms of this, I guess pre-Wemby era, uh, yeah, Shea, Luca. I would say Tatum. Tatum's not that much older than them, and have really like separate themselves as that next up. So yeah,
I'm
man.
pretty sure Shea and Luca like 1 year younger than Tatum.
Yeah. So that's the thing as well. A lot of players get penalized just for being really good early.
Yep,
So
yep,
when I
I know that.
older than they are, this is crazy, but that's something for another day. But yeah, bro, I'm so gassed. I'm so gassed. I think as the series progresses, my takes are gonna get more and more emotional and less analytical. But that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. So for now, yeah, you've got a bit of a measured take, but we'll see how this progresses and how much more of a fan I sound like in about a week or two. But as for this episode, though, I've been Josh Masoni.
Matas Baranauskas.
That was full quarter talk. It's a wrap. We out.